Well, these are the 15 players who are going to start for the Scots, Chris.
Yeah, loosehead Ryan Grant continues his impressive form today, making his 6th cap. Ross Ford takes over for the England. Dougie Hall at hooker, and Ewan Murray is at tight head. In the second row, Richie Gray, Jim Hamilton off a little bulk and a huge amount of size. Richie Gray was Scotland's top tackler last week, putting a number of crucial tackles that we needed again this afternoon. In the back row, Kelly Brown captains aside for number 7. Johnny Beattie will be looking for more of the destructive runs from him at Twickenham. And Rob Harley gets his 1st cap for Scotland, his 2nd cap. Greg Laidlaw will control things and also kick the goals from 9. Rudy Jackson, his partner at fly half. He's a big defensive player for Scotland and he'll lead that this afternoon. Big midfield for Scotland, Matt Scott and Sean Lamont, both over 100 kilograms, both strike runners, but they'll be looking to get the ball through their hands to set off Scotland's exciting back three we've looked at earlier on. On the left wing, try scorer Tim Visser, Stuart Hogg at fullback, and on the right wing, Sean Maitland.
So that's the Scottish starting lineup. But let's talk about the Italians off the back of that tremendous victory in Rome last week. And they have always been a force to be reckoned with in the Eternal City. But obviously their record on their travels is pretty lamentable. Just a single victory in the whole of the Six Nations. That was achieved here 6 years ago. And if your name is Cussiter, look away now.
To come here and overwhelm Scotland. Godwin with a chip and chase down straight away, and Bergamasco, what a start! What a start for Italy! Chris Cussiter saw a gap and an interception, and it is another Italian try. This is remarkable, and that says it all. Ball just behind Cussiter, and then a dangerous pass again. And Murrayfield has seen nothing like it before. And the boos are ringing round Murrayfield. Murrayfield has not heard anything like this. Here comes Rob Dewey and just takes it at a standstill and then picks up those knees and drives. And Scotland now do have a try. Patterson sees a gap and he's straight through. And Chris Patterson has the legs. And Scotland have hope. And Murrayfield erupts. Italy come and they drive and they're over and they are down. Game over. A record-breaking win, their first away win at the Six Nations. History is made at Murrayfield, this famous win.
These things happen.
Yeah, great that you managed to dig out that footage for us. Yeah, bad day at the office, if ever there was one. We had a game plan to try and combat the Italian blitz defence with a chip over the top from the first kick-off. Set piece move to try and throw one over the top of the winger who's rushing in, and unfortunately it didn't come off. And I remember later in the game we came back into it. We weren't a million miles away from getting back into it, and then they just finished it off, unfortunately. But yeah, if ever there was a bad game, that was it.
A good try anyway for Chris. Right, Andy, talk about the Italian starting lineup today.
Well, they were very impressive last week, as we saw in Rome on the Sunday. And quite simply, this front row is the most experienced in world rugby. Geraldino in his 50th cap today. The try scorer last week, Castro Giovanni, 93. But Lo Cicero becomes the second Italian to win 100 caps. In the second row, Bendenhouse and Minto bring a lot of work rate and a huge amount of bulk. And in the back row, big fan of Zani, he's a good player. Favaro keeps his place for the first time. And then at number 8, quite simply, the best player, number 8 in the world. If he's in the World 15, he'd certainly be in my team. Half-back has been a perennial problem for Italy. They look like they may have a couple here that could sort the problem. Botez had a good service last week, and Akera controlled the game, setting up both tries. The one change for Italy, Canali comes in at 12, but he's played 12 times against Scotland, very experienced, and Benvenuti has also scored against Scotland. And two of the back three have scored tries. Venditti and Massey have scored against Scotland, and they're alongside the left wing, Luke McLean.
OK, well, let's get an Italian perspective on what might happen here this afternoon. Let's go back to Jill.
Yes, thanks very much. I'm with Carlo Cecchinato, the Director of Elite Rugby at the Italian Federation. A very happy man last weekend, but what kind of impact has that win had in Italy?
Yeah, it was a great rugby day for Italy. It was a perfect day. You know, we started with the recognition of the first cap to all the players, former players, because we didn't have that tradition. Then all the former players singing the anthem on the match day, and the performance that the team did on the pitch was absolutely fantastic. It was really the perfect day. And then it's very, very important today to reconfirm that feeling, to be able to confirm that was not just something that happened occasionally, but it's because the team is really improved.
Because that is the challenge now, to build on that success and earn your first ever back-to-back wins.
Yeah, it's a big challenge for us. I'm very worried. I'm telling you, I'm very worried for the match today, because I'm not sure that if we are able to reconfirm this kind of attitude toward the match. It's not a problem of winning or losing. The problem is to be able to reconfirm the way we played against France. And I really hope, and I'm that the players will find the capability to play at such a big level. And if we do that, I think that this can be another very good day for Italian rugby.
Well, we wish you all the best, Carlo. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you. Thank you very much.
Well, one of the most interesting statistics, I think, about the match last week in Rome was that Italy only conceded 7 penalties in the whole game against France. And in days gone by, we'd always expected, in a kind of stereotypical kind of way, Italy be fairly indisciplined, they're giving away penalties needlessly the whole time. If they've cured that problem, that has a major benefit for the way they're able to play the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We usually look at the stats, and if you conceded less than 10 penalties, you usually have a chance of winning the game. And I think that's a big influence of Jacques Brunel, is trying to bring that discipline to this Italian team, because traditionally, as we said before, they've always had strong forwards, they've always had a strong set piece, but sometimes the rest of the game was lacking that indiscipline, perhaps a little bit of lack of firepower in the back. So I think that's what Jacques Brunel's really brought to this team, and trying to bring a more rounded game and give themselves a chance of not only staying in games, but actually going on to win them.
We're a bit short on forward expertise here, but we do have Lawrence Dallaglio as part of our team. We'll have him a bit later on. But Sergio Parise has been just an extraordinary player for Italy for so many years. And now with 2 scrum halves here, you know what it's like to have a number 8 of that stature in front of you.
Well, he is. I mean, I just said that. I think if there was a World 15 being picked, he'd be the number 8, without doubt. And he's delivered in a poor Italian side for a number of years, or a side that's getting beat more often than not. Obviously now they won last week, and he's just at the heart of everything that Italy do.
Well, this is a huge moment for Lo Cicero, the Italian prop forward, who has been a staple of this Italian team for 13 years, since he made his debut against England in the Six Nations Championship in 2000, the first year that 5 became 6. And today at Murrayfield, he wins his 100th cap in an Italian jersey, and he joins a very illustrious list of 22 other players who have reached that total. George Gregan of Australia, Ronan O'Gara, Brian O'Driscoll, Jason Leonard. This is sort of going down in sort of hit parade order of the most caps they've won. Fabian Palouse, Richie McCaw, Nathan Sharp, Philippe Sella, John Schmidt, Stephen Jones, Victor Matfield, George Smith, Chris Patterson of this parish today, John Hayes, Martin Williams, Gareth Thomas, Stephen Larkham, Kevin Mialamu, Percy Montgomery, David Campese, Alessandro Chonko, Milt Muliaina, and today Andrea Lo Cicero of Italy. All players who've won 100 caps playing for their country. And we do say this every time we come to Murrayfield, but the pre-match entertainment here really is of the highest possible standard. We've got the pipes and drums on top of the roof on the far side of the stadium. We've got all the flags and all the kids from local clubs here on the pitch waiting to welcome the Scottish team onto the field of play. And Chris, you experienced this more than any other player in the history of Scottish rugby. What's it like?
It's the same every single time you take the field. It's such a thrill, and all you want to do is make all those people proud. Scotland will want to do that this afternoon. There'll be a huge amount of Italian fans here wishing their side can do the same as well.
It's a special place. Six Nations, a special tournament, and as Chris says, all you want to do when you have a big home crowd at Murrayfield is give them the win that they're after.
Well, that's the reception for Kenny Brown and his Scottish team this afternoon. And there's a mixture of expectation because Scotland are playing Italy, so you would inevitably expect perhaps that Scotland would hope to win this game. But there's also, I think, a fair measure of trepidation now, perhaps more than in days gone by, because of what happened in Rome last week, when Italy, not just because they beat France, but the manner in which they beat France, made Italy now look a much more formidable prospect than they might have been in days gone by. The patron of the Scottish Rugby Union, Her Royal Highness Princess Anne, is coming out onto the field very shortly to be presented to the teams. And you can hear chants of Italia, Italia ringing around here. And Andy, as a sort of huge fan of the game, you want Italy to do well, don't you? Because it makes, when 5 becomes 6 and the 6 are genuine contenders, it makes the competition so much more valid.
Not in the next 80 minutes, I don't think they do, but
from next week.
In general terms, absolutely. I think Italy beating France last week was good for the competition, because unfortunately these two countries have been the wooden spoon players in the last what, 5 or 6 years. So you know that's good. We Scotland have got a chance today and in the next 3-4 weeks to get into this championship, and that's something Scotland haven't been for a number of years. We've always been trying to get a win in the last couple of games. Scotland have got 3 home games starting today, and I think they need to look forward.
I think as well, I think the world rankings, the Italians are 9, Scotland are 12, so that tells its own story as well, which is it's a big game for both sides. Home advantage can play a big part for Scotland as well.
Well, I mentioned Lawrence Dallaglio earlier on, and he's just along the touchline from us here with Joe Douglas.
Yes, Lawrence, the Italian team lined up for the anthems now, but you were watching them closely earlier when they were warming up on the pitch. I saw you, looked as though you were quite keen to join in at one point. What has impressed you about this Italian side?
Well, it wasn't just the result last week, which was the greatest result in their history, but it's the way that they've really developed their game. You know, before we'd all see a forward-orientated game, maybe with a drop goal or a penalty at the end. They've really taken the game to France and developed, you know, not only have they got a big pack that can really take the game to any opposition, but they've now got players who can cause a real threat out wide as well.
And I know you're impressed by Scotland's attack last week, but they really need to work on that breakdown area. Can they improve quickly in a week?
Well, I think Dean Ryan's talked about getting the fundamentals right, the basics. They've got to work the breakdown. They've got to come out with that physicality, and they've got to make sure they look after the ball. They turned it over too many times against England and play in the right areas of the field.
So can you make a prediction?
Well, I think Scotland will have to win this game. I mean, they really do, for their own development going forward. And, you know, you'd expect them with this crowd behind them to win, yes.
But we'll hear from you more. You're up to the commentary box now. Off you go.
Thank you.
Nice.
Well, that's Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal goes through the formalities, which she's done many, many times. And I think it's worth saying as well here, Andy, that I mean, you were Scotland captain on many occasions. She knows her stuff, doesn't she?
Oh, absolutely. She knows a lot more about the game than a lot of people who are here today, probably standing here right now. She really is very knowledgeable, really enjoys her rugby.
We've tried to get her as a pundit on so many occasions, but yeah. So in terms of the actual practicalities of the game today, I mean, the only certainty is it won't be 21-0 to the Italians after 6 minutes, but where is this game going to be won and lost? Is half-back the be-all and end-all here, perhaps?
Undoubtedly, they bring the control to the game and allow the team to play in the areas of the pitch that they want to, but they need a platform for that. And you just saw the contrast last week down at Twickenham. Ben Youngs had an armchair ride because the England forward pack were going forward. They won the collisions, as we've discussed, they won the contact. And it was very, very difficult then for Scotland to get on the front foot and for Greg Laidlaw to play and Rudy Jackson. So the halfbacks, as we all know, you need to have a platform and go forward.
I think there's a slight contrast as well in the conditions today here at Murrayfield. It's slightly wet underfoot, the ball will be greasy, so possibly won't see quite as much rugby getting played, especially early on as we did see last week at Twickenham. I expect certainly Scotland to probably kick a bit more in the first 20 minutes, try and settle into the game and try and play in the right areas of the pitch. But as we said before, I think Italy do bring more of a counter-attacking threat than they have done in the past, so Scotland will have to be careful with the types of kick that they choose.
Well, we're waiting for the anthems in just a moment or so. Just Chris Patterson, a final thought. I mean, we had so much running rugby, so much entertaining rugby, but once you've played the first game, you know, your position in the pecking order is kind of established, and that means perhaps we have a more pragmatic approach today, do you think?
I don't know. I think we've spoken about Italy changing their attacking game. They've always changed their defensive game as well. They're a much more passive side. They won't fly quite as hard. But we'll just have to wait and see. We'll know a lot more at half-time.
Okay, well, the announcement over the tannoy alerts the crowd to the playing of the national anthems, after which your commentary team will be Lawrence Dallaglio, Andy Nicol and Alistair Eakin.
traditional couple of anthems, and the stage is set for the drama to unfold. Great anticipation and excitement here at Murrayfield. So Scotland making 2 injury-enforced changes to their pack, with Dougie Hall and Alistair Strockish ruled out. Former skipper Ross Ford starts at hooker, and the Glasgow flanker Rob Harley wins their first start on the blind side. The back division unchanged from Twickenham last weekend. A big improvement needed from Jackson at fly half, with the speedy back 3 of Visser, Maitland and Hogg all hoping to see lots of ball. Jacques Brunel has kept faith with last Sunday's heroes. A 100th cap today for the Sicilian Baron Andrea Lo Cicero Giraldini, celebrating his 50th appearance with the peerless Parise as ever at number 8. Just one change to the Italian back division. The hugely experienced Gonzalo Canale starting at inside centre in place of the injured Alberto Scarbi. And on the bench, the Glasgow hooker Pat MacArthur stands by to make his Scottish debut. Italy have drafted in the Zebre skipper Gonzalo Garcia. And the referee today is Jaco Paper of South Africa, a relative newcomer to the IRB's elite panel. He was in charge of Scotland's narrow win over Australia in a monsoon down under last summer. What are we going to see today? Can Italy back up their sensational opening win over France? Historically, they've been poor on the road. Just a single away win in 33 fixtures. That crazy day here 6 years ago. Have Scotland steeled themselves sufficiently after their outing at Twickenham? Rory Jackson will be getting us underway. Winning his 17th cap today, checking with the referee, and away we go. Italy so brave and bold around the close exchanges in Rome last week against the French. Early bit of possession here. Botez, South African-born scrum half. Clearance kick away, but not into touch. This is Hogg. Away for Jackson, width on the ball right at the outset here. Visser, who hardly saw any ball last weekend. Nice offload to Hogg, but the tackle is good. Little chip over the top, and easily marshalled by Tobias Botez. Takes it quickly, and hoops it away into touch. Quick line out, breathless passage. Hogg again, who is always going to back himself in broken field play. Saw what a lethal strike runner he can be last weekend at Twickenham. Possession now with the Scots. Jackson to Big Jim Hamilton, stopped right on the gain line as the tackle comes in from Ferraro. Lovely little jinking run from Jackson, needs some help. Visser involved. And there's Lamont. Good driving play here from the Scottish pack. Dug out by Laidlaw, looking for the kick through. Is it going to fall nicely? Not quite. Just not quite there for Tim Visser.
Well, what an amazing start to the game. You know, last weekend was widely regarded as possibly one of the most entertaining starts to the Championship, and the match today has started exactly where we left off last weekend.
Absolutely. Well, breathless first 2 minutes. This was the end of a long passage of play, and I thought Visser was going to get the foot race here. It just didn't bounce up. My goodness, if that rugby ball had bounced up, it was a try for Scotland, and they would have capped off a very promising opening with a try.
Tim Visser looking to get on the score sheet at some point. Hopefully today, certainly through the rest of the Championship. He's got a good strike rate so far. 4 tries from his 6 internationals. Starved of possession at Twickenham last week, and got bowled over in the opening few minutes by Ben Morgan, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did, but the Italians have been mightily relieved that ball went dead. They've now got to scrum back just on the 10-metre line as opposed to having to defend their own line. But cracking start to this test match.
So the first scrummage of the game with the veterans in the Italian front row. Lo Cicero winning his 100th cap, as we were mentioning. Giraldini, big day for him, his 50th international appearance. And Castrogiovanni, what a time he had last weekend in Rome with the try and the big celebrations up against Grant, Ford and Murray in the front row. But it's Italy who've been given the free kick, and this is Favaro. Needed stitches in the head last weekend. Parise, and away from O'Cara. This is good from Italy. Botes urging them forward. It's nasty possession. It's turnover ball for the Scottish side here. Lamont from the base. Underneath it is Parise, most unusual. Shrugs off the challenge of Harley. This is Massey. That's come off a Scottish hand by the looks of things. Jim Hamilton's underneath it, trying to secure the ball. It's with Giraldini. Working the short side. Canale recalled to the line-up today. The Scots doing their level best to make a mess of this possession. The Italians have the penalty. Lawrence.
What a real difference we're seeing from this Italian side. You know, gone are the days where they would be kicking the ball or trying to grind it out. Real ambition in the opening few minutes from this Italian side, as we see Parisi just spinning the ball rather unusually, but backwards for him.
It's about the first mistake he's made in 6 years, isn't it? But, you know, there's been more, I reckon there's been more rugby played in the first 5 minutes here today than in some full 80 minutes between Scotland and Italy over the years. We've been subjected to some real purgatory when these both teams have been scared to play because they've been scared to lose. They just want to avoid losing rather than going out to win. Both sides look like they've got the right attitude today.
Well, I think, you know, Italy are potentially a very dangerous side. They've already achieved, you know, what many people thought they would achieve in the Six Nations. So if they play the way they played last week, they're going to be very dangerous indeed.
Well, they won 4 of their last 6 against the Scots, and indeed 6 of their 10 Six Nations Championship wins have been against Scotland. They will fancy their chances today. Surely brimful of confidence as they win the penalty here.
Silly penalties, Alex, to both times. Ewan Murray in the previous contact and Jim Hamilton there. Scotland can't afford to give away easy territory, easy possession to Italy, because they'll then just try and dictate the pace of the game. 2 silly penalties.
Yeah, we just see Richie Gray coming in. I think it's Jim Hamilton, as you say, that just got caught on the wrong side, and as you say, a nice, easy opening shot, potentially for O'Cara.
Luciano O'Cara, who had the game of his life in Rome, having been very much a journeyman for the past, well, 10 years of international rugby, in and out of the side, picked and dropped, but he can never have dreamt he would have had such a day as last weekend. I
think what was particularly impressive is the club side that he's playing for Italy of sort of languishing down the bottom of the table, and really, you know, he's had no club form going into the test match last week. You know, the coaches have stuck with him, and he produced the game of his life and really dictated possession.
Set up the try for Parise, set up the try for Castrogiovanni with that deft offload last week, and kicked his goals too. 3 from 3 last Sunday at the Stadio Olimpico. And this is from around about 38 metres out from the try line, on the angle. Off the post and gathered in by Lamont. Chance of a counter-attack here from the Italians. Massey sets off. Held by Harley. Giraldini right into the heart of things. Favaro busy in the early exchanges. Massey has gone backwards. And Zani drives on. Castrogiovanni, first receiver, keen to get involved. Canale, little show of the ball. Well marshalled. Ryan Grant doing the tackling. Botes with the box kick. Nicely taken by Hogg, but clattered in the tackle. Lamott's kick charged down, and it's gone forwards as well.
That's twice Sean Lamont has found himself at the base of the ruck there and has chosen to box kick. Now that's not a skill people practice very often. Stuart Hogg takes the high ball there, he gets smashed there by Parise and Glendon House, but then Lamont there, Massey's right on top of him. He's not used to being there. He needs to. What you need to do there, you just need to control that situation, make sure there's blockers in place, take the speed out of it, and make sure you get a kick away.
And make sure your nine's in the right place.
Interesting to see from the Italians' perspective. You know, Castro Giovanni really taking responsibility around the fringes, you know, passing the ball. And this is where the Italians have really developed their game. They're looking to move the ball not just once away from contact, but actually shifting the ball through the forwards.
Castro Giovanni lining up against Ryan Grant, former Royal signalman.
You have to be left of it. First one is not left of it. I'll penalise. Okay, thanks. So left, you're that side.
Short discussion between the referee and the two hookers. Ross Ford, of course, recalled to the starting lineup owing to the injury to Dougie Hall. Pat MacArthur waits on the bench to make his debut, a little later perhaps. Good attacking position this for Italy. Solid set piece.
One of the great things about all three games last weekend was that there wasn't a lot of reset scrums, or we weren't discussing, the commentators weren't discussing it. Unfortunately, it seems there's been a few problems so far. This is about the third scrum that they've had problems with.
Yeah, Jaco Paper, the referee, keen to make sure the instructions were loud and clear ahead of the scrummage. The surface is a little mixed across the Murrayfield turf. You can see it's been carved up a little bit there. Front rowers losing their footing. And again, it's collapsed, but the ball is there for Parise. For Botes. Scotland have stolen it. Good work from Harley. Picked away by Jackson. Favaro overrunning that for a minute. And this is Massey, who spotted some space there. One bouncing into touch. Neatly done.
Yeah, very neatly done. Massey, of course, who's playing his rugby at London Wasps, really enjoying himself in the capital. Just a little bit late with the pass there. Didn't really give him much chance of catching the ball there, and just as we see the kick from Massey, just about makes it in there. Judged to perfection.
Terrific player, isn't he? So versatile as well. Likes to play his rugby in the centres, but has been playing fullback now for a long time in international colours. Man of the match in that first famous win over the French a couple of years ago at the Stadio Flaminio. And that year ended up with the Player of the Championship award as well, didn't it?
Yeah, very much so. I know that Di Young at London Wasps thinks very highly of him. Brought that not only his versatility, but that real experience. You know, he's a seasoned professional. I won't call him a veteran. They don't like being called veterans, but he's a seasoned professional.
Ryan Grant just receiving a bit of a rub down. So no sniff of a try. O'Kara with the penalty that hit the post, of course. Line-out ball is not won by the Scots. Giraldini tidies it up. Botes, was that a little fumble? Picked up by Minto. And Cicero keeping low to the ground. Parise, popped on by O'Kara, freeing up a tiny bit of space for Canale. Minto again. Scots really beefing up their breakdown work, trying to stop the Italians on the gain line. Dean Ryan, the forwards coach, has been talking about that all week. O'Kara with a rather extraordinary kick straight down the throat of Stuart Hogg. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah, a couple of little moments there for O'Clara. Not the greatest, just as we built him up. Not the greatest kick in the world, and then obviously just fumbled there as the ball comes to him, finding out that a week is a long time in rugby.
Yeah, it's not a bad tactic to use your legs to stop the bouncing ball, because obviously you could easily give the knock on, but kicking it into touch certainly wasn't what he was looking to do. They try and hide. The one area that Scotland needs to try and attack is O'Connell's defence. They try and hide him in defence, they put him at full back.
Harley with line-out ball for the Scots. Jackson to Lamont, who's hit hard by Massey.
Tackle off. Advantage, slowing it down, number 2 blue.
Here's Richie Gray trying to skip through the tackles. He's got it away nicely to Hamilton. This is good from Scotland. Johnny Beattie into the fray. Much greater continuity, keeping the ball alive. The ball has been slowed up. Visser does the scrum half work. And Gray again tries to straighten the attack. Laidlaw thinks about moving left, swings it right. Is there some space here for Maitland? He's isolated. Looks to his captain for support. And that's fumbled by Ryan Grant. But they have the penalty regardless.
Yeah, long advantage played by the referee there. Scotland just working the phases, realised they had the penalty already, just as we see the knock-on. And one of the things I was worried about Scotland last week was just making sure they played in the right areas of the field. They often played a bit too much rugby in England's half. I think they've obviously gone out with a game plan of trying to play far more rugby in the Italian side of the field.
And it's exactly the right thing to do, Lawrence. And you can see good offloading there from both the second rows. Richie Gray, Jim Hamilton to Johnny Beattie. And that's exactly how Scotland need to play. They've got to play with a bit more dimension. I thought they were a bit predictable last week against England. They were just in one-up rugby. That's the sort of offloading that Scotland need to do today.
So here is Greg Laidlaw, successful with 3 from 4 from the tee last week at Twickenham. So straight on to the posts. And it's a very clean strike from Greg Laidlaw. Scotland nose in front.
Yeah, it's been an even match so far. Scotland probably territorially have been in the ascendancy, and I just like their composure there. They had a crack, they tried to get the ball out to Maitland, they tried to get it to Hawke, and it's been a good start. It's been a good 15 minutes, it's been a good game. Italy have contributed as well, but Scotland, I think, just worth that 3-0 victory lead at the moment.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Andy. This is a steepling kick. It's just about made it over the 10-metre line. Tapped back nicely for Giraldini. It's a little sloppy from Castro Giovanni, allowing Scotland the ball, and Laidlaw chasing hard is Jackson, but Massey's got it all under control. Visser will surely back himself, tries to go through Castro Giovanni.
Thank you. He's lost his forward.
It's gone forwards from Visser.
Very impressive kick there from Massey down the channel. You know, didn't have any space to work in there and managed to get the ball. And as we see, Sergio Paresi, who else, leading from the front, getting the tap back.
Front bind on the arm. I'll give him square.
Two very good kicks. I thought it was a very intelligent kick there from Greg Laidlaw. He knew because Italy were up flat. But as you say, Massey's kick right down the channel was really good. So many times you'd have just seen that kicked off the park, and Scotland would have had a line out attacking just outside the 22.
What's the movement again, sir? Right, let's go. Seconds. Seconde. Go on. Passa 10 per ora. Sì. Okay. Coach. Scrum first. Check. Touch. Six.
Solid from the Azzurri. And Parisi picks up and feeds Botes. Great hit from Laidlaw, really punching above his weight. Goose step from Giraldini. David Campese in disguise. Bodies everywhere.
Attacking more. No.
I think he stopped it. I think Botez has just got a head injury there, and I think Paper, the referee, just stopped it there when Scotland managed to get the turnover. So I imagine this will be a scrum with Scotland's put in to restart the game.
And white 9, just when the ball went away, there's a little after. There's nothing too serious. Just have a word with it.
A couple of men down, and some treatment required.
Yeah, Scotland are making life difficult for the Italians at the breakdown edge.
Rob Harley's trailing boot there on one of the Italian players' heads by the looks of things.
Yeah, accidental, trying to get the ball, very legal, allowed to do that. I remember this man next to me trying to do that often when I was trying to get my hands on the ball. Very legal.
Yeah, very legal, just very unfortunate for the young lad lying on the floor. But I think Scotland are really making an effort to try and disrupt Italy's ball at the breakdown, and a few worrying signs for the Italians. They're not getting the ball away from the breakdown, and Scotland forcing the turnovers.
Team in possession.
Lawrence, I saw you speaking to Dean Ryan at the side of the pitch before the game. What was he saying?
Yeah, he was looking for a real response from Scotland after that game against England. You know, he talked about the fundamentals of the game line and really coming out with physicality, because if you haven't got that, you haven't got the raw ingredients in rugby. It doesn't really matter what skill you possess. So, you know, I think so far he'll be very happy with the response he's had from Scotland.
Yeah, I agree.
He said, hasn't he, it will be simply a consultancy job for the duration of the Six Nations. Fully expects to head back into the confines of TV studio afterwards. He couldn't resist the opportunity to work in the Six Nations Championship. Parise again from the base, feeding Canale, strong running centre, playing his rugby in the French second division at the moment, having been at Clermont for so long. O'Kara looking for the inside ball. Strong work from Benvenuti, and Botez is half through.
Use it!
Massey.
No hands.
Italy approaching the Scotland 10-metre line, and Parise can't quite hang on to it. Chance for Scotland, perhaps, if they can get a hold of this ball quickly, but it's been slowed up.
I was sorry for the referee there, just as Scotland were looking to launch the counter-attack, but excellent build-up play from Italy. You know, they're really using the ball well, and then just as we see the unfortunate Mr. Paper get one on the head.
Oh, I remember wishing I could do that every time I played, and I never managed to do it. Greg Laidlaw, take your hat off. Now there's the contact skills we're talking about, the physicality, Lawrence, that Dean Ryan was looking for. Johnny Beattie going in there and smashing him. That is exactly what Scotland have been asked to do, and so far I think they're delivering.
They are, and delivering from the guy who delivered last week, Johnny Beattie. I thought he was one of Scotland's far better performers against England, and he's, you know, picked up where he left off, and hopefully the rest of the team will take a lead from him.
Most of the match being played between the two 10-metre lines for the time being. Italy with marginally the more possession. But this ball is with Scotland. Free kick, and early engage from the Italian scrum. And Hogg. There's a little dart. Jackson. Not a terribly clean strike. To McLean down the left wing.
Hold. Play.
Jackson with plenty of time. Puts it safely away.
And Italy will be very happy with that, playing in Scotland's half of the field. And people often ask, well, you know, where have Italy made the improvements? And I think, you know, Andy, you'll agree that there's so much better structured now. You know, they're not indisciplined, giving away silly, needless penalties, and that allows you to build pressure as the game goes on. You know, they're spending a bit more time in Scotland's half of the field.
I think Nick Mallett started that, but I think Jacques Brunel has really taken that on. A French coach, he's a bit pragmatic in his outlook, but I think that is exactly what they needed to do.
Good line-out ball secured by Zani. so consistent, such a reliable performer in the Italian back row, and they're working the small nicely as well.
Use it once.
Minto stopped in his tracks, and the Scots definitely have been up much quicker in defence this week. O'Kara to Canale, stopped by Hogg. Doesn't need too much space, does he? Richie Gray. Hefty boot again from Hogg, Parise. Brushes off the attentions of the Scottish fullback. Dismissive. Botes, who's been lively so far today. Penalty Scotland, with the Italians refusing to release the ball. Andy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good defence eventually, but I thought Scotland were a wee bit soft there around the fringes of the ruck. I don't think Botes should have got nearly as far as it. This was the end of it, and you can see Matt Scott there on his feet. Clearly penalty for Scotland, but before that, Botes looking like frustration, but it was a clear penalty. But before then, he made 3-4 yards around the fringes, which I didn't think he should.
Yeah, and I think it's a well-earned penalty that'll give Scotland the opportunity to spend a bit of time now and really, for the first time in a while, be able to exert some pressure on the Italians.
Well, the crowd here at Murrayfield will lend their support as the Scots take the play inside the Azzurri 22 for an attacking line-out. A great opportunity here to launch a proper assault on the try line. Nicely done by Harley.
It's a ball! It's from the back. Use it once. Advantage collapsing.
He's
Number
only
one.
got a short amount of time he's prepared to give these teams at the Maul. Mr. Paper, back it comes for Jackson, the crossfield kick. Chasing after it is Maitland and Hogg, and it's safely taken by McLean.
It was a free ball. Greg Laidlaw, Rory Jackson knew that there was a penalty that the referee was playing advantage for, so it was a free ball. Stick up in the air, you never know what could happen. Not a bad decision for Scotland's perspective. They knew that their likelihood they're going to get another 3 points here.
Well, they're using a maul a good bit at the moment, aren't they, Lawrence? Both teams, in all honesty. But Jaco Paper, the referee, wants them to use it, the ball and the possession, quickly from those mauls. But on this occasion, the Italians dragging it down and penalised.
I think it was Cicero that was penalised. And to be honest, I thought Italy had done the work really there. They didn't really need to give that penalty away. Cicero could have comfortably sort of fallen over without pulling the maul down. So that'll be an area they'll want to tidy up.
Laidlaw to extend the Scottish lead, and it's bang on target. 2 from 2 for the Scottish scrum half.
That's just what Scotland need to do, keep the scoreboard ticking over. Greg Laidlaw, very good strike rate. He doesn't seem fazed by anything, and there's the Scotland coaching team. I think they'll be pretty happy with this first 25 minutes. They've only got 6 points to show from it, but there's been a good attitude in attack, and then when they get the chance, Greg Laidlaw's taken both of them.
That has not gone well for O'Kara, only making about 7 metres upfield, and Parise shows his disgust.
No, not the way to respond. I think what will not be lost on the Scottish coaching team is the 2 occasions that there have been in the Italian 22 that come away with points. And they'll be saying to their players, let's spend more time, let's build the pressure down there. And O'Kara has given them the perfect opportunity to do that.
Little sloppy from the Italian fly half.
Okay, patience, both backs, patience. Slow. Come on, please. Go back.
Scrum on halfway.
Crouch. Seconds.
Ewan Murray in your shot there. He'll be absent for the next match against the Irish, played on a Sunday. Doesn't play on Sundays.
Balls out.
Putting everything into the cause today, though. This is picked up by Beattie. Laidlaw wants it. Lamont, the inside ball for Scott. Strong running from the inside centre. Ross Ford coming onto the ball at pace. Clattering into the Italian defence. You can feel the impact.
Ball's available, use it now!
Lamont, who's doing a lot of work around the base of these rucks. Oh, and has been missed by Italy, and here comes Scott! Scotland with the try! No, he stopped short! In the corner. Matt Scott surely thought he'd done enough, but the cover tackle from Botez was outstanding.
The Scottish going to land first. Who's one of them? Blue kicking the chest.
The officials just trying to work out who's actually going to be taking the line out. It could be a crucial one.
Scottish player kicked it out. Scottish player number 1 kicked it out.
Well, it was completely missed, wasn't it, by Venditti, and very quickly onto it. And Scott just couldn't quite get there. Botez very, very quick across the ground.
Just a terrible attempt there by Venditti to kick it through. I thought Matt Scott would have the pace. Great tackle by Botez. Very good tackle.
And a very significant one. How significant we'll find out, but saved an absolutely certain try there. And Italy can count themselves fortunate on 2 counts. They got their foot into the line out as well.
Here's Geraldini, and finding Parise. They want to play from within their 22. Botez, that's off the outside edge of the boot.
Up to that point, that was very well worked by Italy, wasn't it? Very good line out, hit up, played it back. Look at that, you hear Ryan Grant picks it up. I thought this pass was maybe forward, but I thought Scott had the pace to get there. But fair play to Botez, great technique, and it was, I think his foot was in touch there. Probably right there was Italy's throwing.
Attacking line out for Scotland, won by Richie Gray. Jackson to Beattie. Trying to release Lamont up the middle. Hogg. Diving back infield. Nice quick hands from the Scots, away from Jackson to Visser. Visser is going to be through. No doubt about that this time. Tim Visser's on target, and Scotland have the first try of the match.
And they fully deserve it. They fully deserve it from their first half hour here at Murrayfield today. They just about got a few minutes earlier from Matt Scott, but they get it from Visser, and look what it means to those Scottish fans.
Well, the Dutch-born winger has an exceedingly good strike rate. His 5th try in 7 internationals. And just ducked infield, didn't he, off that left foot.
Yeah, Parise just makes possibly the mistake of gambling and going for the hit, and after that, Italy are always going to be struggling. And a great try for Visser. It's going to be very interesting now to see how Italy can respond, because, they're significantly behind on the scoreboard, something they haven't really experienced in the championship so far. They'll want to get back and get on the scoreboard.
Laidlaw, 100% so far. And the record is intact. Scotland take a commanding 13-0 lead after half an hour.
Also good about that try, but the build-up to it was Scotland were shifting the target at many times. This is the end of it. But the early phases there, Scotland were putting 2 passes in, 3 passes. They were bringing it back to the blind side. They were trying to get the likes of Stuart Hogg running against Castro Giovanni, and they're trying to get those mismatches. It was a well-worked try, finished by Tim Visser.
Scotland then with the platform now. Inside! They can build on that before this first half draws to a close. Laidlaw assesses the options before putting up the box kick. Parise, well tackled by Maitland. This is Massey to Parise.
Release!
Zani. Scott at source. And this is where Scotland have done so well defensively in the first half hour here. Canale
On his feet. Balls out.
McLean whips it wide for Massi and Favaro. Much more impetus from Italy now. Giraldini takes it on. Little popped-up ball for Zani. The continuity is outstanding. Botez is there. Inside the 22 now, still going around the fringes. There's a little disagreement there between Castrogiovanni and Beattie.
They have been hugging for about the last 30 seconds. I watched them. There wasn't a punch thrown. They've been hugging and chatting. What they're doing later on tonight, honestly, that's all they did for about 30-40 seconds.
I don't think you see much more than hugging these days in rugby. It costs you a lot of games out. So, but wonderful passage of play from Italy, really getting themselves across the gain line, getting the ball through the hands. But unfortunately, again, all the hard work undone by giving away a penalty.
Hold it, come in.
Taken by Hamilton. Laidlaw takes the pragmatic route, and McLean is underneath it. Hogg lets that one bounce in front of him, and has given that a hefty shove.
Yeah, I think one area, Andy, that Scotland have clearly been working on is their line speed, because there's absolutely no doubt. I mean, Italy have had, a lot of possession. They've had a lot of territory. The forwards have been taking it up, but they've been met with much stronger Scottish defence. The line speed clearly much better this week.
Yeah, a bit of attitude, Lawrence, isn't it? I mean, I think that was probably what was lacking last week. I mean, yes, there's been a few mistakes from Italy, but Scotland have really played with a bit of aggression, a real bit of attitude.
Italy in possession again. They've spilt it. Have they? Has that gone backwards from Giraldini? No, it's been knocked forwards, and we have seen quite a lot of knock-ons today from the Azzurri. Just a little bit inaccurate, and it's costing them.
Yeah, and a little bit of niggle just creeping into the game. Italy getting frustrated with their mistakes. Quite clearly a knock-on there by Giraldini after, again, good Scottish defence.
I think a lot of these mistakes are coming from the pressure and the aggression, the attitude that Scotland are bringing to this game. And see, if you stand off people and let them play, then obviously they're going to be good. You get in their face, you get right in amongst them, then you're asking questions. And Rob Harley, the ginger hair we just saw there in the picture, he's a machine. The figures and stats he puts in week in, week out for Glasgow are fantastic.
Well, he spoke in the week about his excitement at getting in the Scottish starting 15 and lending his particular abrasive style to proceedings. He likes to get up in the line and smash the opposition. He's getting plenty of opportunity to do that today.
And interesting enough, Ali, he's packing down on the open side. Kelly Brown is on the far side, the blind side, so Rob Harley is packing down in the 7 area at the moment.
Yes. You always give the younger man the option, don't you?
There he is, Rob Harley, his first start in his country's colours today.
Square and steady.
In for Alistair Strokosh.
The mark, square and steady.
And the Italians again have been penalised at the scrum. Jaco Paper, a stickler for discipline in the set-piece area, so Jackson really has options here.
Okay.
He's going to launch it skywards. Not quite the distance that he would have liked on it. It's tapped back by Harley, he's done well. Laidlaw thought about spreading it wide and provides the target instead.
No, back. 3.
Scott to Lamont. Has to take the ball behind him. And there's nobody in there at scrum half to help out, and the Italians counter-rucking hard. Kelly Brown decides to gather it up.
Ball's available.
Again, they go down the short side. Lamont has had a lot of involvement in the opening half hour or so here. Jackson, delayed pass for Richie Gray, who stopped as soon as he got the ball.
There's the ball.
Slow ball for Scotland here. Jackson to Scott, running from deep. But again, barely able to get over the gain line. Penalty, Italy. And Matt Scott refusing to give up the ball.
Now that last couple of phases was very reminiscent of Twickenham last week, trying to play off slow ball. You just can't do it. The line speed of Italy was good. They were slowing the ball down at contact, and instead of from the previous ruck, Red Laidlaw or Jackson kicking it and giving it back to Italy, Matt Scott tried to run it out. And then when you get that, when you're playing off slow ball and the defence is structured, you get turnover ball.
Probably just outside the O'Kara goal-kicking range, so instead they popped it into touch for a line out inside the Scottish 22. Italians haven't spent a great deal of time in this area of the field. A rare attacking position to threaten the Scottish line from. Taken by Zani towards the tail.
It's a maul! Leave that leg! Use it once!
Giraldini has it.
Where's the ball? Release your ball! You're off your feet!
Zani. Cortez to Minto. It's all a bit lateral at the moment from Italy. Heldon Hayes.
Away, tackler!
Slips. O'Kara. Munched. He's done well to get that back at all, but they've lost ground here, Italy. They've gone back some 15 metres.
Advantage, slowing it down, falling the wrong way.
Scotland are penalised here. There'll be the option of 3 points at the very least for Italy. Cortez pops it up, and Castro, some quick hands, intercepted by Scott, and there's the penalty.
And I think it'll be a very welcome penalty for Italy. You know, they hadn't had a chance to get, well, they'll have another chance to get three points on the scoreboard, and they just seem to be lacking that shape that they had last week. You know, the forwards are toiling, they're working hard, albeit against a much stronger Scottish defence, but you have to say that the use of the ball from Italy from the half-backs has not been great so far, and they'll welcome the chance to get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that was one of those penalties I just didn't think Scotland needed to give away, because their defence was really working, wasn't it? They were knocking them back. Italy weren't really doing much with it, and I think, you know, there's good penalties and there's bad penalties. I just felt there, make the hit and then just let them have the ball and do it again.
So Luciano O'Kara will try to register the first points of the afternoon for the Italians. He was out for a long time earlier on, knocking these over in practice. A low trajectory, but the result is a good one, and Italy are on the scoreboard. 13 points to 3, half-time approaching.
Yeah, it's not goal kicking in the classical style, is it really? But it's just a lazy sort of swing of the boot. But you know, the first one hit the post. This one definitely goes over.
Well, we spoke about it last week. This problem that the Italians have had over the years, over the last decade, since Diego Dominguez's departure. The lack of a quality 10 to make sure that the scoreboard is constantly moving. And that will be the last play of the game in this first half. Luke McLean fires it into the stands, and there we are at half-time. 13 points to 3 to Scotland.
I think Scotland have been very happy with that 14 minutes. Everything that was lacking last week, they've brought to this week. They've been playing with aggression, with discipline, with good ambition as well. It's got a great try for Tim Visser. They've controlled that game. Apart from that penalty there and one other attempt, Italy haven't really had an opportunity.
No, I think the Italians, certainly the Italian coaching staff, will want to get their half-backs down the tunnel and say to them, look, if we are to do anything in this game, we really need to use the ball better.
Half-time, Scotland 13, Italy 3. Thank you, John. No changes to either side at the start of this second half. The same starting 15s taking the field for the second 40 here. Kelly Brown, the Scottish skipper, looking for a big half of rugby to get their championship up and running. Johnny Beattie does the carrying duties.
Lost it. Use it. Onside.
Laidlaw's got a lot of height, not quite the distance he would have liked, and Italy can claim possession. O'Kara, very heavy traffic in midfield, and the kick hasn't found its way through. Massey is having to tidy things up.
Release.
O'Kara trying to feed Minto as the battering ram. Now some space for Zani. And that's not the best of offloads, and Massey, for all his abilities, was never going to be able to take that. The Scottish have turnover ball. That's a clever kick through. McLean. Penalty, Italy. The Scottish tacklers this time refusing to move away. Italy trying to inject their own urgency into proceedings.
Release two. Use it.
He's very talkative, Mr. Paper, isn't he? O'Kara lost his footing. Hogg. This time couldn't bounce off the tackle of Castro Giovanni. That's gone forwards. All a bit scrappy.
And then go back.
It is a bit scrappy. One thing I'm finding interesting, the referee, Mr. Paper, is making the Italians use the ball very, very quickly from the base. I mean, I know that this is a directive. All referees are saying move it on, but the Italians are being given very little time, and I think they're struggling to get themselves reorganised again, just as we see O'Kara. Probably the right option, just didn't quite have the execution, which seems to be the way the game's going for him today.
What was good about that was that there was Scotland's line speed in defence dictated that O'Kara had to kick. There was just no space for him to put the ball out wide, and it was a great example of Scotland really being aggressive in defence and dictating what's happening.
Something to warm the hearts of Dean Ryan and Scott Johnson.
We have to form it.
Attacking line out for the Scots, just outside the Italian 22. Maitland, lovely offload, and here comes Scott. This time he will go through. Matt Scott's going to get his try after all. A fabulous start to the second half by Scotland, and their inside centre is the man who's got the try.
Well, this is the new Scotland. It is fantastic to see, because Matt Scott, who I'm a real fan of, he's not had the easiest time coming into the Scotland team last year. He has tried so hard. He almost got a try in the first half. He gets to here. What a great move. Watch this. Sean Maitland comes in off the right wing. Great offload to Matt Scott, who has the pace, and that's O'Kara standing at fullback, not Mazzy, because they tried to hide him. Watch this play by Maitland. He comes in off the blind side. Sean Lamont comes as a decoy run, and Matt Scott finishes it off. Great score.
Yeah, I just think the Italians, as we see Scott Johnson there, there he is, he's happy. The fist is up, he's happy, but just in terms of Italy numbering up there, they just got the numbers wrong, and Scotland got over the gain line. And
Laidlaw to add the extras, and the flags are up. Scotland have a big cushion to work with now. Maitland so powerful, and the wherewithal to get it away nicely. A little juggle from Matt Scott, but then plenty of pace to see him home.
As Lawrence Benvenuti, the Italian outside centre, just got taken in by Sean Lamont.
Laidlaw, clever kick.
What a difference a week makes. Last week, Greg Laidlaw had a torrid time. Why? Because England were on the front foot. They were smashing every contact. Today, he's not having an armchair ride by any stretch, but he's able to control the game and influence the game.
Zani with line-out ball. Minto. Benvenuti frees up Massey, chips ahead, and Laidlaw calls for the mark.
I have to say, take nothing away from Scotland the way that they've played, but from an Italian perspective, you'd have to say that they've kind of given away soft tries. I mean, that was straight from first phase, that try, and yes, it was excellently taken by Scotland and by Scott, but from an Italian perspective, to give away a try straight from first phase at international level is simply not good enough if they're going to compete.
So there we go, it's a good match-up at full-back between Hogg and Massey, equal in metres. Hogg's not had quite as many carries, he's only beaten one more defender, but a lot of that this week has come from Scotland's creation, rather than last week it was all from counter-attack, and that's where Scotland have made that step forward this week.
Richie Gray has taken the ball at the line out.
Ball's out.
Hold it, okay.
Laidlaw really bossing proceedings now. Nicely taken this time by Venditti. Botes to O'Kara. We'll grab a through from Massey. Well, that's going to fall nicely for Canale. That's the pass away to McLean. O'Kara for Parise. Still the Scottish defence holds firm. Massey, little show of the ball, he's got away. Inside is O'Kara. He needs support, and it's intercepted by Hogg. Now what can Hogg do from here? Hogg could go all the way from here. Has he got the swing? He's definitely got the pace. Stuart Hogg is clear all the way to the line. That is another sensational score from the Scottish fullback. Well, he did it at Twickenham last week. He's done it at Murrayfield here today.
Wow, this place has just gone wild, because about 30 seconds before that, Italy looked like they were going to get right back in the game. And now Stuart Hogg, who read the situation so well, has run about 80 metres. Let's see it here, you look at O'Kara's about to put in Benvenuti, but Hogg reads it so well. And then, this is it, look at this, O'Kara looked like it was a try for Italy, but Hogg reads it, he buys it, and then he steps and goes. And there's all the Italian forwards have got no chance to get back, and Hogg scores another try for Scotland.
Yeah, fantastic try from Stuart Hogg, and poor old O'Kara, his troublesome day goes on, because Stuart Hogg had made the early announcement that he was going to go for the intercept. In fact, if O'Kara, I think has been replaced now by Chris Burton. That's the what a way to make your last impact in the game. He'll be desperately disappointed, but all credit to Scotland.
Another clean strike from Laidlaw, another excellent kick from the scrum half. 27 points to 3, 2 tries at the start of this second half. A commanding performance from Scotland. And Stuart Hogg, my goodness me, 2 staggeringly good tries in this championship already.
Yeah, and if you just agree with Andy, the build-up play from Italy was superb. Massey did all the right things, put the right option inside, and could have so easily been a try the other way.
Here is Hogg again. The spiral kick this time. Massey. It's gone straight up in the air. Claimed by McLean. Chris Burton is on in place of Luciano O'Kara, as we were mentioning earlier. And Eduardo Gori is on at 9, a change of halfbacks for the Italians, and those offloads are not happening for Italy today. This has gone forwards again.
And that's the thing, with the scoreline as at 27-3, you have to force things, don't you? And you try things, that an offload that maybe is not on.
Captain, listen, you need to calm down. Okay, it was first to knock on.
Look at this is Hogg, a step on Giovanni, pass through Giovanni, and then Hogg goes He's a great player. It's things like that can get you on the plane to Australia in the summer. He had a good game last week. He's backed up with another good game. He's right in the mix, Lawrence, for the Lions in the summer.
Yeah, very much so. And
I'm going to put
thoroughly
the mark down
deserves
there,
it. He was certainly the bright spark for Scotland. Last week he capitalised on any bad kicks from England, and he's got himself on the score sheet again. You can only keep scoring, keep putting your name up there.
I think this is a really important last 30 minutes for Scotland. I mean, they've got themselves clearly into a winning position, but for the rest of the competition, if they can push on from here and get a really, really good victory and not let Italy come back into this, it really sets Scotland up then for 2 further home games here against Ireland and Wales.
Certainly the way Italy are playing, even though they're 27-3 down, they're still coming at Scotland. So unfortunately for them, they are making mistakes, and Scotland are going to be able to capitalise on those mistakes.
Italy need to find something within themselves here. They made the changes at half-back. Half an hour left to play. Half an hour to find a foothold in the match. There's Chris Burton. Fine drop goal last week against the French.
Let's go. Let's get it pulling. Hey, just stay there. That's fine. On the crouch. Don't move on the crouch.
Setting the scrummage has been a painful process for much of the day, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's certainly very slow today. Very, very slow indeed.
Laidlaw gets a shove from Gorey, and the Italian pack have really made it pay in that set piece.
That's the sort of thing you're talking about, Andy, there. Just a little bit of, Scotland just lapse of concentration there and allowing Italy back into the game.
Every other scrum so far, Scotland have been really solid, so I think that was more a mental rather than a physical. I mean, they just dropped it again, and they've got to make sure every scrum, they need the platform.
Nice shoulders, nice and high.
A couple of giants in the second row for Scotland in the form of Richie Gray and Jim Hamilton. Plenty of power, plenty of bulk, and height, of course, as well. Penalty, Italy. 3 points at this stage, not really that useful to them.
Lose it, collapsing.
And Burton will fire it into touch. It's a good kick too. Right up on the 5-metre line for an attacking line-out. Crucial moments these for the Italians, Lawrence, you would feel, given that the way that the second half has fallen for them in the opening 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, very much so. What they've got to realise is there's just under 30 minutes left in this game, which is a very, very long time, and they've got to get themselves back in, and this is a wonderful opportunity, certainly for their forwards to perhaps use that driving maul and see if they can get over the Scottish line.
Zani with the line-out ball and the rolling maul. They have the advantage. At the very least, there will be a penalty to follow. Gorey to Castro Giovanni.
New advantage. Play advantage, not releasing.
Slow ball. And the kick has not worked out. And the referee will call them back.
And I think he might actually go in the pocket here, because if you could hear at home, he said new advantage, which means
advantage for 3 on the side.
There's 2 or 3 penalties been offended.
Hold it. Relax. We had advantage for number 3 from the side, then number 5 collapsing, then you not releasing. Right, okay. Keep it positive.
So you're saying there was 3 consecutive penalties there, and I just wondered, and a referee might have deemed that being, you know what, that's 3 penalties, I'm going to yellow card here, but he didn't there. But I think he will do the next time.
Yeah. We'll be keeping a close eye on that. From this ensuing scrummage and beyond, the patience will wear thin at some point.
Just do your job.
Slightly furrowed brow for the time being on the face of Scott Johnson.
I have to say, as a former number 8 myself, these were the attacking opportunities that you really, really enjoyed. You've got the split field, you know, a strong enough scrum to win your own ball, and I'm sure Sergio Parisi will be looking to launch an attack now off the base of this scrum.
Dutch.
In it goes from Gorey. Scottish pack holding firm. And another scrum to follow. There wasn't much give in that Scottish pack there, Andy.
No, going back to the previous scrum, it clearly wasn't lapse of concentration in the previous one, because that looked pretty rock solid, and it has to be.
Yeah, and they're really, you know, looking at the time ticking away there in the scoreline. You know, Italy do not want a series of reset scrums. You know, they want to get the ball in solid. You know, I don't honestly think they can take Scotland over here, over the line. So let's just play. You know, let's get Parisi launching into Rory Jackson, or you know, going through some phase play and really testing the Scottish defence.
Couldn't be a better position for the Italians. 5 metres out, they've got options each way. Plane waiting to the left. Parisi has fumbled it, and that just about sums up their afternoon.
I think when we see a close-up of this, Sergio, there'll be an arm from Rob Harley. That's legal, absolutely legal. Parisi went to pick up, and Harley just got his hand in. He's bound. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with Rob Harley. I'll be having a word with my fellow flanker and just saying, look, you need to protect me there. You know, I don't think Parisi was particularly slow in picking the ball up. He just got no protection from his flanker, who just should have just turned his backside out or stuck his leg out and just stopped Rob Harley from getting anywhere near him. Good play from the Scottish flanker there.
So another scrum, but this time a Scottish put in.
Dutch. Set. Stay behind. 9.
Big shove from the Scottish 8. A real signal of intent. And you can see just what that means to them.
Just go back. Just go.
The Italians not happy.
No, but what I liked there was Stuart Hogg, Rory Jackson, Matt Scott came in and really sort of congratulated the Scottish forwards, because that's a massive psychological hit, not necessarily a physical one. Psychologically, that was a big thing for Scotland, and you can see the backs, the nice relaxing backs who are not involved, came in and congratulated them.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you know, we've heard about people talking about the fundamentals and the basics. The game of rugby is about getting the basics right, and last weekend against France, Italy did all the simple things really well over and over again. Today, to give Scotland credit, they're really putting the Italian basics under pressure, and as a result of that, Italy have got absolutely no platform in which to launch their attacks.
And all that time spent inside the Scottish 22, they have precisely nothing to show for it. This is Laidlaw. Infield from McLean to Massey. Burton to Canale. Fumbled by Gorey. No, backwards, says the referee. Width on the ball from the Italians. Burton to Parisi, looking for Venditti to inject some pace into things.
Advantage over.
Giraldini hopping out of the way of his own player.
Release.
Minto gets it away, but Italy now on the back foot, and the Scottish defence is up quick. Minto again has been right at the forefront of ball carrying duties. More pace from Massey. Punching around the fringes here, Italy. Gorey trying to get through Lamont. Good continuity from the Italians. Going through the phases, Castrogiovanni clears the ball out, and this is Burton for Canale. The advantage is there for them. Penalty, Italy.
Yeah, I think eventually the referee losing patience at the breakdown, as we see Sergio Parisi looks to be in a bit of pain there, maybe his elbow, but the referee penalising, I think, Rory Jackson for not rolling away. But the thing about the scoreboard now at 27-3 is that Scotland know they can give away those penalties, you know, because it's not like Italy can even kick a goal. They're so far behind, so Scotland can do that frustrating thing.
This is the penalty here. Ross Ford there, who's gets a bit of a boot in his nether regions for his troubles, but he's not moving. He's not making any attempt to get away there.
No, I can guarantee though, Andy, the point I was making is that if it was one score in it, they would have been rolling out the way very, very quickly, because you don't want to be the player that gives that penalty away.
Without doubt.
So some replacements. Lo Cicero, his 100th cap today. Bit of a sorry way to celebrate it. And Ginaldini, his 50th cap. They're both making way. Eldon Hayes coming off as well. So Pavanello on in the second row. That's Lorenzo Cittadini. And David Giazon will come on at hooker. So 3 replacements into the Italian pack. They've already got new half-backs in the form of Gorey and Burton. And Ryan Grant has come off. Burton spreads it wide again. Scott up very quickly. And Maitland it was, in fact.
Advantage over.
Good clearance from Laidlaw. Burton underneath it. 1 foot in touch.
Yeah, I'd be interested to have a look back at that scrum again. I just thought Parisi possibly went the wrong way there. You know, the Scotland cover had come across and read him, and it might have been better off just picking the ball up and breaking right.
France-Wales up next today, live from Paris, a 4:30 start. And of course tomorrow in Dublin from the Lansdowne Road Aviva Stadium, as it now is. Ireland against England, the 2 unbeaten teams. Gorey to Burton. Favaro.
He's been a really solid performer today, Favaro. He's tried very, very hard indeed, and has been at the heart of everything good that Italy have done, as Castrogiovanni now takes it on.
Burton trying to get it away for Canale. It's fallen into Scottish hands. And that is a testing kick. Venditti.
Hold!
To Jackson. Now Hogg. With room. For Vista. We all felt that. He didn't seem to feel it at all. Penalty here to the Scots.
From the side, number 19.
Italy joining the ruck.
What the heck? I think it's Canale, wasn't it? It was Canale, and he's again in the backs has been a great performer, as we see it. Canale and a mixture of Castrogiovanni. You don't really want to run down there.
To be fair, I only saw Canale. I don't know why I didn't see the 20-stone Castrogiovanni that helped him there. I thought that was an amazing hit by Canale, but I think Castrogiovanni had a bit of a go as well.
And now the screw is being turned by the Scottish side, leading by a clear 24 points, 18 minutes left to play. It has not been a happy afternoon for Parisi and his troops.
And this will be a test for Italy, because they've had the lion's share of possession for the last 10 minutes. They've really been battering away, they've toiled, and Scotland have defended brilliantly, and now it's their turn to defend. And when you're in your own 22 and you're 27 points to 3 down, that is a long way to come back.
Isn't it, Lawrence? And I just think from Scott Johnson and Dean Ryan's perspective, it's almost been the perfect game. They've shown a lot of play. This is the tries that we're seeing here. Vissers in the first half, a great finish from a guy that knows exactly where the try line is. And then a great set-piece move. Maitland off his blindside wing to Matt Scott, who has the gas this time to get over. Two great tries created by Scotland. This one arguably created by Italy, but finished off with just the star of Scottish rugby at the moment, Stuart Hogg. Three great tries for Scotland.
And I guess the other thing that we'll be talking about is that Scotland have found the try line again, because, you know, under Andy Robinson, they put in a lot of effort, but found it very difficult to get over the line. Already in this game, they've got 3 tries, possibly more on the way.
You can go.
2 last week, of course, as well, at the home of English rugby. And a great attacking position here for them. That is a line-out that's fallen for Cittadini. Burton under pressure. Hogg in space. And Scott combining with Maitland.
Use it!
Hogg at first receiver. Acres of space wide out there on the left. Richie Gray's hurtling up the touchline. And it's taken in by Italy, but Richie Gray's done a fine job on Eduardo Gori.
It's not really a contest for height and weight, is it? Gori and the biggest man in the pitch, but Richie Gray, a great rugby player, great balance. Look, he knows exactly, he's not going to get anywhere. You're not going anywhere, son. You're coming into touch.
Yeah, it looked like it was possibly the wrong option there, just to kick, but the bounce of the rugby ball gave Richie Gray an opportunity, and as I said, he wrapped his big paws around him and managed to force him into touch.
A poor kick can be good, a good kick with a good kick chase, isn't it? And Richie Gray put in a very good kick chase there.
So Castro Giovanni makes way. We'll be back for further battles through the course of this championship, no doubt. But Scotland are pressing, looking for their 4th try of the afternoon. Just 7 or 8 metres out from the try line. The ball doesn't seem to be moving anywhere at the moment.
Use it now.
This is Lamont. Well held.
Use it.
Laidlaw again dragged into the ruck.
Backwards. No.
Taken on by Ewan Murray. Lots of possession here for Scotland. Can they make it pay? Maitland gets it away for Scott in the corner. It's 2 for Matt Scott. It's 4 for Scotland. And this is turning into a rout, although it's a forward pass from Maitland.
Oh, that must be tight, wasn't it? I mean, fair play to the referee. Pepe was right there.
I was about to do it myself.
I think his quick little conference with a touch shot. I think a touch shot gave him the confirmation he needed that it was a forward pass. But
let's have a look. Good angle.
Oh, just.
Let's go.
I have to say,
it's all about the hands. It's about which way the hands. If the hands go forward, it's a forward pass. If the hands go sideways or back, it's not, even though the ball goes forward.
it's a shame because it was a neat little finish there by Matt Scott. He got the ball down in no issue with the grounding. As we see the replay.
He had no room to work with either, did he? But just fractionally forward from Maitland.
You could see 10 passes like that a game not given as a forward pass, would be my argument.
You'd see a lot more arguing from the players if the score was a bit closer as well.
Italy can breathe again thanks to a free kick. Just want to clear the ball out of the danger area for the time being.
Next one will be a penalty. It's not foul.
Sean Maitland's added something a little different to the Scottish back division, isn't he, Andy?
He's just a classic player, rugby player who's grown up in New Zealand. He's just a really, really intelligent rugby player. He makes good decisions at the right time. He doesn't do anything flash, he just does the right things at the right time.
Alistair Kellogg on for Jim Hamilton, line out ball for Scotland, and Jackson, another crunching hit in midfield.
He's got it.
Matt Scott felt the full force there.
Pick her back. Holding.
Penalty against the Scots this time for failing to release.
7 blue on his feet, all the rights. Slow down. You can play.
Burton sensibly opts for territory. I guess it's sometimes a little difficult, isn't it, when you have a cushion of this size to maintain the concentration and the focus all the time.
When you get hit like this, though, this focuses the concentration, doesn't it? I mean, that is a great hit. I think that's my friend Canali again, who's just come in and smashed Matt Scott.
I tell you, Alistair, you're absolutely right. I tell you what else doesn't help when there's, I know it's a facet of the modern game now, but lots and lots of substitutions. You want to get some rhythm into the game, and lots of players coming on and off, and you kind of lose that. You lose that sort of pattern that you had that helped you get that lead.
Yeah, more replacements onto the field. Paul Derbyshire replacing Simone Favaro in the back row for Italy. They've now used 5 of their 7 bench men. This is Derbyshire. An English father,
backwards.
An Italian mother. That's backwards from Gorey.
Second one was off the foot.
Benvenuti has had a quiet game so far. Massey. A little bit of room for Venditti.
Counter-attack's good.
Burton switches the point of attack, and Parise is upended. Italy backpedaling. Suggestion of a forward pass to Cittadini.
I'll play the half-back.
They have the advantage this time. This is Pavanello.
Play advantage. Playing the half-back, over here. Yes.
Taken quickly by Gorey.
He's 10, yes.
Harley throwing himself about. And here they have us intercept again. This is fabulous from Scotland. This time it's Sean Lamont. It's been a real try drought for the Scotsman, but Sean Lamont has not stopped their 4th, and he has now scored his 9th international score. Only 1 try in his last 42 internationals, but Sean Lamont has struck again.
A real individual try as well. Sean Lamont recognising that the ball was out, according to the referee. He's got himself, I think he just got straight through the middle of the ruck. Be interested to see from the replay exactly where he came from. No, ball was out. I think he was the one that kicked it through the ruck, and the Italian cover was nowhere to be seen.
No, that try for me just encapsulates Scotland's attitude today. Really aggressive in the contact. Sean Lamont could easily have just gone out there to defend the next phase, but no, he went really hard into the ruck. He managed to get the turnover and then had the pace to run the length.
And the 2 or 3 phases before that were just Italy being driven backwards and backwards and backwards, and that's just typified the way that Scotland have approached it. As we see Sean Lamont just pick the ball up. It's a great feeling when the wide open spaces just open up and no one is there in front of you.
Unopposed and in for the try. Scotland are completing the route at this stage. Italy desperate to conjure something in the dying minutes now. Still 10 minutes left. Gorey searching for it, but some obstruction and crossing.
It's just obstruction.
Ewan Murray has made way for Jeff Cross in the front row for Scotland.
Yeah, I have to say, having read Dean Ryan's comments all week about the fundamentals, you mentioned it. I reckon Scott Johnston and Dean Ryan might be more satisfied with that side of the game, the contact skills, the collision, the attitude. Not so much the 4 tries. As he said, the tries come from the fundamentals being in place, and that's what Scotland have done so well today.
Well, they've given the Italians no breathing space, no let-up. I mean, the line speed, I think that the lads in the studio mentioned it at half-time. The line speed has been very, very impressive. They've really worked hard together. They've made, you know, they put in the sort of performance that you get from Scotland in the breakdown, where they make your life really hard work.
Number 18 wide, obstruction.
A penalty here for Italy, just inside the Scottish half. That's against Alistair Kellogg.
Obstruction.
A bit of a cynical foul. And Burton will pump this into the corner. Good to hear Murrayfield in full voice, Andy.
Yeah, very much so. It's been a while. Scotland didn't win any one of Scotland's 5 games here at Murrayfield in 2012. You know, when you try and make your home venue a fortress, that's anything but it's been a different matter today. Scotland been well worth this lead, 34-3, and there's been a few players played very well. He's one of them, certainly. My goodness, what an impact he's made in the RBS Six Nations so far.
Terrific game for Stuart Hogg, but he's now being replaced by Max Evans, leaving the field just a little bit reluctantly. He's been enjoying himself. Evans comes on to win his 34th cap. Goring to Burton, stepping in field. This is Giazon, cut down by Denton, who's on.
He's on his feet.
Scotland competing for this hard on the floor.
Forward.
Scrum to Italy.
He's on his feet, he's contesting.
Well, what an impact he's made. 7 carries, 121 metres made. 80 of them, I think, were for his try. And 3 defenders beaten.
Yeah, he could be very pleased with his work. And, you know, it's not just today. He's really backed up from last week as well, where he was a good performer for Scotland. Italy now go from that line out to this scrum. And Scotland, I think, you know, this last 4 or 5 minutes, or 6 or 7 minutes rather, they'll want to shut Italy out. You know, they want to nil them, as the players call it, where they don't obviously concede a try.
Set. Get it in.
Parise from the base. The inside no-look pass for Zani. He's going to crash through. And Italy do have something for their efforts. Alessandro Zani with the try.
Yeah, it's a shame really, isn't it, for Scotland, because they've worked so hard. But I guess Italy on the flip side of that, especially up front, have really toiled. They've tried, they've been banging away, and Parise, a little bit of an inside, was the Scottish flanker held there? Looks like he was, because it seemed to be quite a big gap, just as we see here. Or Denton, yeah, he's definitely being held in there. And a big gap which Zani exploited, you have to say. A little bit of a good disguised pass from Parise on the inside.
Burton to try to take Italy into double figures. It's a clean strike.
Yeah, when I saw it live, I wondered where was Johnny Beattie? Where's the number 8 here? And you won't see me at this angle. Dave Denton makes the tackle. That's in Beattie's hole. Number 8 should be in that hole. He's on the ground. You can just see him there. We might see him from a number. You can just see him at the bottom of the frame there. He fell over. He tripped over, I think, the Scotland's second row. And Zani went through exactly the channel that Beattie should have been in.
Yeah, he knows. He knows it's his fault. It's either, I thought he might have been held in by one of the Italian flankers, but I think he just, as you say, Andy, just tripped over and left the hole there. Shame.
Zani, one of the more dependable characters inside the Italian lineup. He's played in the last 45 Test matches. He's played all across the back row. Here comes Henry Pyrgos. And and he will win his 5th cap in place of Greg Laidlaw. No way through for Burton.
Use it!
Searching for a hole. Pavanello drives it up. Burton again. Italy throwing caution to the wind. Venditti. Big, strong, burly winger. Marcy from fullback, having to check his run a little, but now finding the gaps. Again, Venditti doing the carrying. Kellett doing the tackling. Cittadini is taken away into touch.
Relax, relax. Just relax, relax, relax. Oh, just relax.
Scotland's defence, their attitude is still there. Italy are getting a lot of possession now in the last 10 minutes. Now here's the try. Let's watch Johnny Beattie there. Look, it's the back. His foot comes up. I think it was Richie Gray's foot comes up, and Beattie trips over it. And unfortunately for Scotland, Zani goes through the hole that left.
Just a handful of minutes left.
And more of that.
The Italians trying to press in these dying moments.
I mean, usually that tells a story that they're in control and winning the game, but 72% possession. Look at the scoreline, 34-10 Scotland.
Well, it does. It tells a story that Scotland have just defended superbly, even without the ball in the second half as they go out on the attack.
You can just see the confidence flooding through the Scottish team now as well. They're trying things from well within their own half, which we weren't seeing anything of in the opening stages. Pyrgos goes to ground.
Ball's out.
Andy, probably about time you turn your attentions to the man of the match.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of very, very good performers for Scotland. Rob Harley, I think, has had a very good game at blindside. I think Stuart Hawke has enhanced his reputation. But for me, the man of the match, the RBS man of the match, is the Scotland scrum half, Greg Laidlaw, for his control. His control of the game has been outstanding.
Scotland come again, approaching their own 10-metre line. Pyrgos, advantage to Scotland. Jackson, little dink over the top.
Off the feet.
And they've won the penalty.
Number 16.
There's the man of the match alongside Ewan Murray. Laidlaw had such a difficult time last weekend, but as you rightly pointed out, Andy, it was all about being on the back foot.
Yeah, but I mean, so many people have contributed to him being man of the match because they've given him the platform, the go forward to control the game, and his game management, I think, has been excellent. His kicking was great, but I mean, that guy there, I have to say, Rob Harley pushed him really hard. I think he has put in a power in his first start for Scotland in the Six Nations.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Andy. I mean, Dean Ryan will be very pleased with the Scottish pack, because at the breakdown they've made life very difficult for the Italians. This was a much heralded Italian pack, and Scotland have really put a shift in up front, all over the pack, and very impressed.
They're still pressing in the dying moments here. Jackson to Scott, and Maitland. Desperate defending from Italy. They may well have been driven back over their own try line.
Lost feet. Stay. Lost feet.
Audacious stuff. Good day for the management. Scott Johnson and the skipper Kelly Brown. They can look forward with confidence now to matches at home against the Irish and the Welsh as the clock goes dead. Italy come one final time.
And it's just it's the way the pattern of the game has gone. Some outstanding Scottish defence as Italy break.
This is Zani, very well held by Richie Gray. Jezon, hit hard by Lamont. Gorey, that will be that. A yellow card. Just to finish proceedings off, there will be a penalty, and that will be the final play.
Took Mr. Pape a while to get the card out, but bizarrely seems to have found one in the 80th minute.
Harley juggling it, and Gorey sets off. Is there one final twist? Visser would like to provide it. Beattie. Long miss pass out wide. Max Evans chasing through is Maitland. Maitland in a foot race with McLean, who is falling on it and touching down in the in-goal area. The final whistle is blown. Scotland have their win. Backs against the wall today. The Scott Johnson project is up and running now. They've dug out a fine 4-try victory. A victory that breathes life into their Six Nations Championship.
A very, very good performance for Scotland. A very complete performance for Scotland. Probably as good as we've seen for a number of years in every aspect. They got the reactions. Scott Johnson, Dean Ryan got the reaction they wanted from last week, which was a bit of attitude in attack and a bit of attitude in defence. They got that 4 tries, and that maybe that last passage of play summed it up. The game was over. Scotland could have kicked it out, but they wanted to score another one, and then their defence and their kick chase was really good. That was a really uplifting performance for Scotland.
Yeah, and I think from the Italian point of view, the Italian revolution is on hold for one more game. I think they've realised the stark reality of international rugby. If you don't do the basics right, if you don't set the platform, you cannot possibly, build on that. But they'll regroup. They'll go back to the Stadio Olimpico, which has been the real base of theirs, of where they've really produced their best performances. And against a Welsh side that are low in confidence at the moment, I'm sure that they'll fancy their chances.
Scotland then much improved. Ireland up next here at Murrayfield for them, but at full time it's Scotland 34, Italy 10.
Well, Greg Laidlaw, this Scotland crowd has waited a long time for a performance like that here at Murrayfield. How good did it feel to be part of it?
It's absolutely brilliant. We're delighted for the crowd, everybody that turned up today, just to give them that win. It's been a tough time through the autumn, and we're listening to the crowd. This one's for them.
A tremendous performance. What was the difference this week? Because this wasn't just a win, this was an emphatic victory.
Yeah, well, Scott just spoke about through the week we had to do the dirty work, as so he calls it, and we've done that today. I'm fortunate enough to pick up man of the match, but it was because every one of the forwards done their job, and I had an easy ride today, so I really enjoyed the game, and all credit to every one of the Scotland boys.
And a word on this defence, 100% commitment from the players today.
Yeah, that's what we spoke about. Spoke about taking our emotions onto the field and what it is to play for Scotland, and the line speed was there this week that lacked last week, and we stifled Italy, and that put us on the front foot.
Ireland next, you get a bit of a break. I see you strapped up there, a bit of ice on the leg, but you'll be fitting well for that one?
Yeah, it's a couple of weeks away now, but we're not getting carried away. This is where hopefully we can start building. We've had wins before. We need to go away and understand why we won this game, and then take it from there.
Greg, you're the RBS man of the match. Enjoy the win. Thank you.
Cheers, all. Thank you.